Alright, some of the tools that are required to install a 4200 in your vehicle. As you can see, we've got a couple of hand tools laid out here. You're going to need a good socket set that has metric and standard sockets in it. A battery drill of some sort would help tremendously, but if you don't have one, you can just, of course, use your wrench that's in the socket set. If you do have a battery drill, we use an adapter to make things easier. You will need a flathead and a Phillips head screwdriver. We also use what's known as a pry tool, but if you do not have one of these, don't go buy one. A flathead screwdriver will work just as well. And then you'll need some form of wire cutter. You won't actually be cutting any wires. You will be trimming down some zip ties though. So, you know, find something that you can cut with. Don't use scissors. Use, you know, of course, some sort of wire cutting tool. Okay, upon receiving your package from us, when you open up your box, you're going to, of course, have two different things. You're going to have your unit, and then you're going to have your ribbon cable with what is considered some OBD2 adapters in the package. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to go ahead and open up our box. Inside this box, you're going to see a hardwire kit, which we'll just put to the side because we're not going to need. You're going to have your antenna, an alcohol prep pad to clean your windshield before you put your antenna on. You're going to see some zip ties. Those are important, so make sure you hold on to those. Then you're going to see an installation card, which looks like this. What we ask is on your installation card that you fill out all of the vehicle information. We're going to need that to get your unit put onto the website. So if you would, just fill out everything from vehicle information down. And then this last card is going to show you roadside assistance. Of course, all of your units come with roadside assistance for free. All you need to do is fill out whether your truck is light duty, medium duty, put your VIN number in the first spot, your device serial number in the next space, which your device serial number will also be filled out on your installation card, and it's also on the side of your box. And then put your license plate number right here. And then we recommend that you stick this in the dash, and you can see at the bottom what the features include. You get towing, battery boost, fuel delivery, locksmith service, and a flat repair and winch service. So if you ever have any of those issues, you can simply call this number, press option 2. They're going to ask you for the information on this sheet, and then they're going to send someone out to help you. Last two things in the box are going to be your actual unit, which looks like this, and your installation guide. Alright, so after we've inspected all of our stuff, we'll go ahead and put our stuff back in the box. And the last thing we will do is we will prepare our ribbon cable for installation. Now, first thing you want to do is take your ribbon cable, go ahead and take the rubber band off. You're going to notice on here that you have 3 points of connection. 1 point is complete, and 2 points have to be completed before we can finish our installation. Now, what happens is this ribbon cable actually creates a split off of the vehicle's OBD2 connection. We'll go over this again once we get inside the vehicle, but the connection that's already complete on this ribbon cable actually goes into the existing OBD2 port on the vehicle. Then what you want to do is you want to take a look under your dash at the factory OBD2 connection, and you want to see which one of these connectors looks just like the factory connection that you have. Now, because we're installing today on a Ford truck, we know that connector number 1 is the one that we will use. So after you find the connector that you need, you simply hold your connector in one hand, and then you take your other OBD2 connection, which comes in your package, and you want to look on your connector, and you see that you have 2 corners, and then you have two diagonal corners on this side of the connector. Well, this matches this OBD2 connection, and what you'll see here is you have two straight corners and then two diagonals. So this connection will only go in one way. So we're going to take like so, match up the sides, fingers and thumbs, and push until you hear the snap. Now that part is complete. Okay? Now what we want to do is we want to find our ribbon cable again, and on the shortest end of the ribbon cable, we want to go ahead and take our OBD2 connection that we just created. We want to match it up. Of course, you have a groove and a groove. We want to match up, plug in, make sure it's seated nicely in there. Just push on it a couple times and make sure it's connected. Now what we want to do is we want to find this little metal bracket that's inside your package as well. We're going to take that metal bracket and we're going to connect it to the grooves that are here and here. So we're going to stick one side there, we're going to wrap it over, pull, and then if you need to, grab your wire cutters and just barely grab a hold of the side of this metal bracket and pull and set it right in the groove. And now it's complete. Just make sure that your metal bracket is over top of your ribbon cable connection, and then what this does is it won't allow that thing to ever come unplugged. Okay. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is I want to locate my factory OBD2 connection, which of course I see is right here. Now we've already taken this off, but what you want to do is you just want to find of course the size socket that fits these screws, and go ahead and remove those screws, and this OBD2 connection can just hang out for here right now. Okay, so we have it hanging. So we know that we're going to have to take this panel off to get behind the dash of the OBD2 connection. The other thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to find a location for antenna placement. Now we recommend that the antenna is placed somewhere along right here along the A-pillar on the driver's side. The things you want to make sure of is on your windshield that you do not place that antenna any higher than this little line right here that is on most windshields. That it has ours has a as in alpha, and then an arrow down, and then an S as in Sierra 1. So you don't want to really go any higher than this line right here. And then the other thing you want to take into consideration is if your state does inspection stickers. We're in South Carolina and we don't have state inspection, but you don't want to put it down here very low where it will interfere with the inspection sticker. So somewhere, you know, really just in between here. If the vehicle has an A-pillar, we recommend you just put it somewhere in between the top and the bottom of that A-pillar. Last thing to consider with antenna placement is this piece of plastic has to be able to come off and be put back on at any time. So you want to make sure that you don't butt your antenna right up to this plastic, because if you do, you're going to have an extremely hard time taking this plastic off if ever if you have an airbag system or something that needs to be serviced that's actually behind this A-pillar. They're gonna rip the antenna off every time they take this piece of plastic off. So we recommend 3/4 of an inch, you know, up to 1.5 inches of space in between this plastic and where you're gonna place your antenna in the end. So we're gonna start first with the installation of our antenna. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to install our antenna. Of course, you remember our antenna from when we went over the box contents. You want to remove the zip tie or the twist tie, which we've done. And then you just want to make sure that as you're unrolling this cable, that you unroll it kind of carefully, because you do not want to kink or crimp this wire in any way. So typically what we do is we hold it with one hand and then stick our thumb through the hole on the other, and then we just pull. And as you pull, you see it unwind, and then it's just a nice straight wire with no crimps, like so. Okay? So now what we want to do is just go ahead and drop this wire. Make sure that your connections are out of the way. Make sure these two connections are out of the way so you're not stepping on them while you're trying to do this. And we just drop it down on the ground.